Good morning. Yes, it is a bright sunny morning in Scarborough, Toronto. This is Starman again coming at you. And yeah, I thought I'd take advantage of the great light. I can barely see the screen actually. So yeah, sorry if my face is washed out. That's not what you want to come to see anyway. Trust me, I'm no prize. But you know what is a prize is this cool new shirt I got this morning. Just got this morning. Yes, going back old school again. Keep on the Borderlands, going back to the early 80s. Yes, it was a strange adventure, but we didn't care back in the day. Like, it was cool. This new game that we're playing, um, we loved it. The story is laughable by today's standards, but that's fine. Like, again, we didn't care. And wow, the sun is bright. But yeah, I think I'm centered okay now. It doesn't matter if I can see, it matters if you can see. And what I have to say in this video, I'm going to expand upon some things I said in the welcome video. That was just a lay of the land, my history, and getting into the framework that I created. Now, what we're going to do for this video is I'm going to go through and talk about the three major players in the VTT arena, at least for 2021 and recent times. Roll20, Fantasy Grounds, Unity, and Foundry. These seem to be the three biggest ones, and you'll notice that I have linked a review in the description. And this seems to be what most people are using these days. So, just talking about them in relation to this. The reason why I'm making this video is when I go on forums, and even on the rptools.net forum itself, I get asked, well, there are different questions on rptools.net, but mainly on the 4E Discord server, which I really like participating on. I don't do it often, but I like reading all the comments and stuff like that. People ask me, they say, MapTool? Huh? Why MapTool? Like, and some guys even say, "Oh yeah, I tried MapTool. It sucks." Like the interface is laughable. It's old. It feels like Windows XP. That's not really an insult because Windows XP was a well-loved operating system, so that's fine. Let me get this out of the way first. I don't want this to be like a holy war with respect to no, my VTT is the best, and whatever works for you works for you. If you're having fun, you're having fun. Like, who am I to judge, right? All I'm saying, I'm just giving you my own opinion on across these four tools and how they relate to each other and my understanding. Let me get this off right off the bat here. I'll admit I haven't tried any of the other three. I've been asked to join a Roll20 game. No, first of all, I've got no time. I run two groups. That takes up all my time. I do not have time to play a third time each week. Maybe soon when I'm retired, we'll see. But the thing is yeah, I'm happy with MapTool. I don't find it very difficult to use. A few people are saying, no, it's really tough to use. Really? Guys, come on, get a grip. I was able to figure it out, and if I can figure it out, you can figure it out. Trust me. There are some quirks to it, like I'm still not entirely sure about the lighting. It does have dynamic lighting in it. It's not as cool as some of the other VTTs that have flickering animation for the torches and stuff like that. It's just straight fog of war reveal as you're going through a map. So that's good enough for us. Again, and I've made this point plenty of times, MapTool is free, guys. Doesn't cost anything. It's free. So that's my starting point. You don't have to pay anything for it. It's open source. If you wanted to, you can download the code, modify it, and recompile it. I'm not quite at that stage yet. Maybe when I have more time. Editing the framework and developing it takes all my time. But there are some of features that I like of other VTTs. Like MapTool has a free tier, which the other two can't say, Fantasy Grounds and Foundry. So that's good. So that's what I'm saying. If you can try it for free, that's great. But the pricing, again, as it says, as the guy says in the blue collar DM says in the review below, it's after that, if you start paying for MapTool Roll20, it doesn't really pan out. It's not really that great an option because $100 a year so you can get to the application API and write macros. Come on, guys, are you kidding me? $100 a year, even if it was as powerful as MapTool's scripting language, which it is not even close. Okay, it's primitive. I have seen it. Okay, I looked at the code of some of the macros that are done in Roll20. It's laughable what it can do. All it can do is show you the sums of die rolls. You rolled a d20 plus your strength bonus. Here's your 2-hit roll. And that's it. I mean, okay, you can have dialogues that ask, well, do you have combat advantage? And, add to. But, I mean, first of all, mine does that automatically. The MacroPolicebox will do that automatically for you. And, yeah, it doesn't actually change anything. The resources, the circles in Roll20 on the other token, if it could do that 1d20 by a plus STR, that value, and compare it to the defense of the defending token, and say you hit, Fantasy Grounds does that much, and that's about all it does. I think Fantasy Grounds will also tell you the damage, but that's about it for Fantasy Grounds as far as D&D 4th edition is concerned. Again, let's keep the scope of this discussion. I don't want comments in the down there saying, "Well, Roll20 and is good at 5e." MapTool doesn't have. Actually, MapTool does have 5e support. You can download frameworks for 5e as well. I haven't tried any of them, of course, because I don't play 5e, but you get the drift. And Foundry has 5e native 5e support. It does not have 4e support. And this brings me to my next point. I play 4e, so I simply don't care what support other VTTs have for 5e. So what? I don't care. I don't play it. So it doesn't matter to me, right? So, but I mean, that's cool. If you play 5e, then good for you. That's not what we're talking about in these videos. If you're a 5e player, quite frankly, I don't know why you're watching these videos, because we're not, that's out of scope for these videos, as I said. So with respect, all I really care about is the programmability. And I do know, again, don't tell me about the fact that, yes, hey, do you know you can do modules, add-on modules for Fantasy Grounds and Foundry? I know that, guys. I watched a lot of review videos for the different VTTs. Again, I'm a don't knock it till you try it type guy, so I'll admit I'm being a bit hypocritical here in that, I haven't tried those other ones, those other tools, but I don't have to. First of all, again, getting back to my own personal history, I started with MapTool in 2010. If Foundry was around then, I probably would have used that because it looks great. And it has JavaScript as its programming language, which is more universal. And I've watched Spaceman Dev's programming videos, tutorials on how to do it. Looks pretty cool. My concern, though, is that the macros are numbered. What's up with that? Why can't I name them like Magic Missile? Or can you? Did I miss that part of the Foundry feature set? I don't know. And I also want my code to be centralized so I can call it from anywhere, from any token. It doesn't look like you can do that with Foundry. You have to make it specific to each token, just like you do in Roll20. In Roll20, you have to keep all your macros in a text file or something, store them somehow, and when you make a new token, make a new character, you add manually to do that. You don't have to do that with the MacroPolicebox. I've explained in my videos, you can actually promote your macros up to the Macro Hall of Fame token, and any token that uses Magic Missile, if that's what you promoted up there, will automatically use it. So you only have to do it once. That's the beauty of MapTool. One of the many advantages of using it. So getting back to my history, I started with MapTool. So why would I change? I have spent tens of thousands of hours by now, over the past 10, 11 years now, creating my framework. Why would I port it over to Foundry that does less? Feature by feature, I think Foundry and Fantasy Grounds does less than MapTool does. It's a it does it in different ways, but even if it does more, you still have to pay for it. And I would have to port the whole thing over. Why? I'm happy right now. My two groups are happy. They're having a blast. They're having a lot of fun playing around right now. Why should we switch? There's no reason for it. I will admit, Fantasy Grounds and Foundry look really, really good. They've got amazing interfaces. And as I said earlier, MapTool seems primitive by comparison. I personally don't have a problem with MapTool's interface. If you do, that's fine. That's your business. The base products, yes, I admit, Fantasy Grounds and Foundry look better. But if that's all you're going by and that's your only criteria, then you're a judge a book by its cover kind of person. And as we all know from conventional wisdom, not a very smart way to evaluate things. You look under the hood, and MapTool has a lot under the hood. I saw a guy's tagline in the rptools.net forums saying MapTool is the Millennium Falcon of VTTs. May not look like much, but it's got it where it counts. So those are the main points that I wanted to get through in this video. Sure, you can try to duplicate if you want to. Go ahead, and more power to you. That's great. If you want to try to duplicate my work under any other VTT, go for it. That's how I started. In my other video, I told you about Rumble, which is a 4E system under MapTool, and I don't like it. It sucks. So I looked at it and I said, "No, I can do better than this," and that is exactly what I did. Again, I have dozens upon dozens upon dozens of features in my framework, and it tracks everything. Again, as I said, Roll20 doesn't do anything. It will show you things. Here's your 2-hit roll, here's your damage roll, but you have to go to the other token and manually change the hit points and manually put on those little symbols indicating that you're dazed or you have an attack penalty or blinded or whatever. So I don't know what the point of that is. Like, if you're using a computer, you should have the application, do the work for you. That's the point. I'm in IT. It's my profession. It's my life. That's the point. If you want to do things manually, like a lot of people, what they do, their approach is, well, I used to use a battle mat and minis. You go across the squares, roll dice, and they just want that duplicated, that exact scenario duplicated online with a VTT. And that's fine. If you find that enjoyable, good for you. For myself, no, I want the tool to track all the points for me. With my system, at the end of an encounter, you actually get experience points. You run the end encounter macro, and it actually awards you 750 experience points or whatever it is, and it changes the property on the token. think of a token as a little spreadsheet with one column, actually two columns, the headings and the values. And there are macros which change all those values and put these states, that's what they're called, states, on the tokens for you and time them for you. It will only keep the dazed state on you until the end of your next turn or the end of the monster's next turn and takes it off automatically. Just about everything is automated, but nobody's got a gun to your head. I've had that criticism leveled at me too. Oh well, you know your system feels like a video game. You know it. We don't have to track anything manually. Everything's automated. That's not the way D&D is. And okay, fine. If that's not the way you want to play it, then that's up to you. But again, nobody has a gun to your head, guys. You don't have to use all the automation. With my system, you have a choice. You can use the automation or not use the automation or go somewhere in between. You don't like features L, K, P, and X? Don't use them. Nobody's forcing you. So at least you have a choice. With other systems, your choices are no automation and no automation. So, yes, you can add some if you want, but if you want to add as many that I have in MapTool, yeah, good luck with that, guys. I've been doing this for 10 years. There are, I don't know, a couple of hundred features that are very, very difficult to program. So you can download my system if you want and look at my code, see how I did it, and replicate it in your system. I have no, actually, not only do I not have a problem with that, but I'll help you if you want. If you want to ask me questions, hey, Starman, how did you do that? I saw a guy on the 4E Discord server. He's writing a MapTool program to track ammunition. You fire an arrow, it needs to decrement the ammunition property, which is what I do in my framework. That's great. Like if he wants to ask me questions, he's actually one of my users. Actually, that you can do that. Another guy who is not one of my users is trying to do auras in Fantasy Grounds. Again, fantastic. I think that's great, and I encourage that. That's wonderful. It's good to see people following in my footsteps, even though they don't know they're following in my footsteps. That's fine. But yeah, that's looking really good. So again, MapTool is a great program. If you find it difficult to use, I don't know what to tell you. It's simple to me. The networking can be a little tricky, but that goes for all VTT app-based VTTs, not just MapTool. Okay, MapTool has UP&P, which lets you configure that fairly easily. And even if you can't get it working, there are forums. There are lots and lots of people that use MapTool all over the world that will be happy to help you. There have been networking papers written to help you configure your ports and your port forwarding and triggering and all that good stuff. So, yeah, I don't consider MapTools hard to use. I don't consider that a valid argument. It's not, guys. It just isn't. If you're having trouble, ask for help. Okay. Once you get the MacroPolicebox going on your system, MapTool becomes irrelevant. It's like I don't know, going to a restaurant and eating. Does it really matter what the decor is or something like that? All that matters is your food, right? That's what you're concentrating on. When you get into my system, all that matters is your token and the selection pane where all your menus are. And like the actual program itself, MapTool is not an issue at that point because all you're doing is watching the chat panel and the results of all your macros, and that's it. It becomes fun. Like it insulates you from the MapTool experience, my system. So again, I'm happy to help. If you have any questions, then go to my website. To the on the left there's reporting problems. There's a link there. Click on that. It shows you how to submit a problem report to me if you're using my system. And that's about all I have to say. Like I said, other virtual tabletops are great, but speaking for myself, all I care about is the extensibility, the ability to program it. And I want to play D&D now. I want to play it now. I don't want to play it later on, like however long it takes to develop a system, because I have a system ready to go now. You don't have to wait 5 years or 5 months or even 5 weeks. It's done. It's ready to go. We're having fun now. You can download it today and get going. There are videos all over this channel to help you use it properly. So again, not a valid reason. Oh, I don't know how to. MapTool's too hard. No, it's not. Especially when you consider you have training videos to help you use it. So those are the main things I wanted to say. Thank you for listening, and happy gaming to you.